Speaker, my highly esteemed colleagues, I'm Sergius Ose Ogun. I represent Eastern Southeast, Eastern Northeast, and I'm from Edo State. Need to investigate the activities and procurement processes of Nigerian embassies / high commissions to cut costs and fight corruption. The House is aware that Nigeria's high commissions and embassies are administratively under the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs and as such have their individual budgets computed under the ministry. The House notes that all sums spent by the foreign missions are meant to be subjected by parliamentary oversight in the light of the fact that spendings are provided for under the Appropriation Act passed by the National Assembly. The House is informed of the widely reported news by a number of online news media that sums running into thousands of pounds have been spent by the Nigerian High Commission in London on activities as mundane as hiring of scaffold, clearing drains, and manholes. House also notes that allegations by Nigerians in the diaspora of acts of insensitivity, laxity, negligence, and near outright maltreatment by consular staff of Nigerian embassies / high commissions across the world, which inflict mental torture on them. The House further notes the manifestation of these acts in the bureaucratic bottlenecks in the renewal of expired passports, extortion of money from those seeking assistance or redress, and outright insensitivity to the plight of those in their need, which had resulted in the abandonment in the mental home in Turin, Italy, of the Giulio Samese, whose kidney was stolen, and the death of Nwadike Stephen Chukwuemeka in a deportation camp in Malaysia, and so many other cases. The House is concerned about the need to investigate the activities of the high commissions and embassies, including how
Jerry,
those
please take your seat.
Were approved and disbursed.
Jerry Alabeso,
and procurement processes
ranking by age, please go back to your seat.
And high commissions. The nation will continually be bled by the sincerity of the government's war against corruption will be called to question. The House is aware that the status of some Nigerians in the diaspora are manipulated as those whose passports have expired are kept in detention, and in the process they lose their assets and investments. The House is also concerned that various missions experience scarcity of data capturing machines, thus making it difficult for expired passports to be renewed as and when due. The House is further concerned about the allegation that those seeking to renew their passports are made to pay for the 64-page international passport booklet, but are eventually issued the 32-page one without being refunded the excess money. The House resolves to, 1, urge the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs to ensure that Nigerian missions abroad provide counseling and support to Nigerians in time of need, and to operate a 24-hour helpline and desk for Nigerians in the diaspora. And 2, mandate the Committees on Foreign Affairs, Diaspora, and Interior to investigate the above allegations, including financial improprieties, and the measures to be devised to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians in the diaspora, and report back to the House within 6 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, I so move. It's been trending for a while online about how processes were not followed in Nigerian High Commission in London, and by extension, other missions. The case here is a situation whereby the administrative staff just approve certain payments. For example, scaffold. The online news actually said the removal of old existing scaffold for new ones. And if we know scaffold is a multiplicity of what we call ladder. So is not part of a building. So I will not know what led to that. That's one. And secondly, when you talk about clearing of manhole and sewage, in London, I'm not aware individuals or institutions do that. It's the responsibility of the council. Most of us have lived in that climate and they know how it is done. But the painful thing about this whole thing, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that Nigerians, the missions are supposed to be generating revenues from passport, from visas and all, that Nigerians cannot even get their passport renewed. A case in question is a cousin of mine, that's an American citizen now, was to come home December for a medical outreach that she helped plan and put together for me. But because her Nigerian passport was expired, she could not come. And she could not get visa to come back to Nigeria. And here today, we are talking about getting foreign investors to come to Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, if you go to most missions, if you go to most of these missions, wherever in Washington, in London, you are in the US there, but the minute you get into the mission, you will remember that you are in Nigeria because of their attitude. Then we want foreigners to come and invest in Nigeria. They are supposed to go to these missions to get visas to come in here. With that kind of attitude, I, in private practice, have written letters to the embassies to procure visa for foreigners to come in here. There was actually a case in time that I scheduled a program, a training program, for over 250 people for an oil company. The manuals were out. The souvenirs were all out. We were all dated. For no reason, they just did not issue visas. There was no reason why they didn't issue visas. I had to start calling places and everybody for them to issue visas. Mr. Speaker, with this attitude, tell me how many genuine investors that we badly need today will come to the country. So I don't want to belabor this matter, but I just want my honorable colleagues, we need to look at this. You might be talking about, the monies we are talking about now, might be thousands of pounds, but when you convert them, they are running into millions of naira. First and foremost, the right thing should be done the right way. Our missions should be generating money, besides money appropriated to them. So if they take these monies, like my sister mentioned in this motion, the come over of this motion, that when people pay for 60-something page passport, and they are issued half of that, there is no refund. We cannot condone this. We cannot sweep this under the carpet. Because this country belongs to every one of us. It's not enough to blame the executive alone. We should point this out. The committee should look at this. And then if we need to redress this, or people need to be punished, they should be punished. That's my submission this morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.